Welcome to another episode of USATF Journey to Goal Zone podcast. I am Wallace Spearman, but the real host here is Amy Begley.
All right. Well, actually, we're excited to have Connor Mantz here to talk about the marathon and the 10,000 because he gave us a great show last at the trials. So we're excited to see that. So tell us, why did you run the 10,000 here?
So as part of the Olympics, you have to go through team processing. And so I'd already made the team in the marathon, and I decided to go. If I was going to be here for team processing, I might as well run the 10,000 as well.
What?
I mean, it's better than going out and trying to run a 10K workout on Priest Trail. I'd rather be here and run that on the.
All right, I see your point.
In the track where I have people all there with me. There's reasoning behind it.
They don't give prize money yet on practice runs.
No,
do they?
There's no prize money for a workout.
All right, I follow. I rock
right.
with you then. I got you.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than doing a PR in practice and knowing you're not getting paid for it.
Exactly.
Dude, every time we do something with the distance run, I have to change my mindset that you all run so far, so fast. It's ridiculous, man.
Thanks, Wallace.
That's crazy. Okay. Side note, real quick. Have you seen those treadmills they have where it tells like people, if you want to run this marathon pace, like you run on there, but it's like soft. So if you fall, like you're good to go. Have you seen?
Yes, I've seen them.
So, like you get on there, no problem, right?
Maybe.
You have a lot better chance than I will. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, I think I could make it farther than you. I'd hope so. If not, then either you need to start running again and do some marathons, or I need to find a different event.
I think I would do better. I think if I had a bicycle going 23 miles, 20 miles, 10 miles, 1 mile, you still would beat me on foot. But all right,
do we need to tell Wallace it's 26.2?
26.2 and then the half marathon. I got you, but still, my mind stops at 400 meters. So it's about, and a 4x4. That's about as far as we go, man. But this dude's running 10Ks and doing well because he didn't want to hard work. Like that, dude, you're impressive. You're impressive.
Thanks.
All right, I'm done.
So you put on a show at the trials for the 10,000. It was great. Everyone said Connor's in it, so we know how it's going to go. He's going to take it out and he's going to do it. But marathoners versus track runners, right? Some people don't like the fishbowl effect of the track. Do you prefer the roads or do you prefer track?
I think it's fun to run on the track. The track's just a little frustrating because it seems like the only race that really matters, is the Olympic trials or the U.S. championships. And then it's like if you do well there, then it's the world championships or the Olympic games. But on the roads, you can really focus on so many different races. And so it's like you can go to some, 10K, I don't know, in Atlanta, Georgia, and that could be a focus for you. Or you could go do a marathon, or you could do something. And it kind of, I don't know, helps out with that short-term memory type of thing where, if you have a rough race. But I feel like, I don't know, this is my 7th U.S. championship outdoors as a senior, and yesterday was my 7th race, I should say, because I've done the 5K and 10K the last 3, and it's hard when you have a bad race. Like, it's hard to think, 2022 I did the 10K and I finished 7th, and I thought I could be top 3 that day, and it was just really disappointing because it was like I worked so hard for that moment. And it ended up being a kicker's race, and I had poor positioning, and my kick wasn't as good as a lot of those guys. And I didn't get to go to Worlds, and it was just kind of this big disappointment. But on the road scene, it's like you have a disappointing race. You can find another big race on the roads before the whole next year. Like, I don't like having to wait a full 12 months to go and be like, all right, now I got to go run U.S. championships again, and if it goes bad, or if it goes good and I end up 4th. I've had a great race there once and I was 4th, but it was still like, all right, I didn't make the team, gotta wait until next year. So,
Man,
I don't know.
So mentally, I'm about to say, help me get through this. You're going to compete, and like you said, so you realize you might not be in the best position. Or maybe you're not competing at the level of what you expect yourself to in that moment. Yep. Like, you have a lot of time to process all that and why you're actually competing. I'm gonna say, is that something where, sometimes you can overcome it, or like you just have to be okay with it in the moment, or like what goes through your mind?
It's a little bit of both. Like, we used tomorrow or yesterday, sorry, as an example where I was really thinking about. I was like, okay, there's really no pressure. I'm already going to go to the Olympics in the marathon, and that's kind of, that's my focus. I'm not going to try and focus on the 10,000. But it was like, oh, it's getting a little hard. It was hot yesterday. It was about 82 degrees from what someone was telling me. And it was windy, and I was doing a lot of leading, and I wasn't really having my best day. But it was also like, I can make it 2 more laps. And I just kind of had that attitude over and over again. And pretty soon, we have a mile to go, and I'm like, all right, I think I could be top 8 today. Like, even though I'm not feeling great, I just think it was just fun to be in the moment and be there.
And I'm about saying you had a lot of stress. Do you consider that maybe a competitive advantage? You don't have the pressure like I have to do this, or
yes,
you are already.
I feel like yesterday I had a huge competitive advantage because no matter how I did, whether I tripped at 400 meters and I stepped off the track, I'm still going to the Olympics this year in the marathon. So it was like I didn't have to have that like weight on my shoulders of, okay, this is it. This is my one race. This is my chance to make the Olympic team. And if I don't, I got to wait 4 more years. And so that was really nice.
So are you going to try to, I don't know if you can. I don't really know what you're capable of, like, mentally to prepare yourself. But when you go to the games, are you going to try to retain some of that mental piece that you had before, the 10K going into?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm going to go about it a little differently, but I think it's kind of coming to this race, a lot of it was about mental preparation for the Olympic Games. One thing, like, you don't get a lot of practice of being in these high intense situations. I mean, especially as a road racer, because you go to like other road races like a 10K or a half marathon, and they're pretty relaxed heading up. But the Olympics aren't going to be. So one of my big goals for this weekend was go run the 10,000 meter because I'll be at a high pressure, intense situation that'll be very similar to how the Olympics will feel. The whole crowd being there, the atmosphere of everybody being a little bit on edge, all the competitors being on edge. I think that was what I needed for like some good prep for the Olympic Games.
So you probably had the situation with the marathon being like, all right, I have to qualify. Now you're ready and going to the Olympic Games. What can you tell the next generation of men? Because you qualified for the marathon on your 3rd try. That's pretty rare, right? And when we have asked people, hey, are you going to move up to the marathon? Oh, I mean, Connor did it, but I just don't know. So what advice would you give to the younger guys coming up? Because we need more guys like you that break 2:08, right? Because the next time it's going to be 2:06:30. So
right.
What is the advice you're giving to this next generation? Should they move up sooner? What should they do?
I think a lot of people should move up sooner. I think you should be able to figure out what you enjoy, where your strengths are. I feel like a lot of people are really worried about how hard the marathon is. But the thing about the marathon is it's not high intense. It's not like a 400 or 100 or 200. You're never really getting this high intensity. And, some athletes really are meant for the marathon and they do really well in the marathon. But others are like, no, I think I need to be a track guy. And it doesn't really make sense to me when there's a guy running the 5K, 10K who's in a similar position to me, being, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and in that range at every U.S. championship. That why don't you just move up to the marathon and try it out and see how you could be there? And I feel like if I could run some really fast times in the 5K and 10K right now if I had gone all in on those, but I didn't really know what, like, we have Grant Fisher, we have Woody Kincaid, and we have all these great athletes, and like maybe I'd make the team in the 10K if I was all in on it, but I felt like I had a better chance in the marathon, and the marathon's a lot of fun. That has my strengths to it. These long sustained efforts on the roads. So I think some people should definitely try it out. A lot of people also feel like once you try the marathon, you can never go back to the track. After my first 2 marathons, I went and PR'd in the 1500 that next year. Given it was by like 0.04 seconds.
Still.
It was a PR.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can just keep, I don't know, you don't need it's not like they're mutually exclusive. You can do one and you can do both of them at the same time.
And those guys that are being 6th, 7th, 8th, every year at track nationals, they can make more money on the roads.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's a secret that's like, hey,
Right. I mean, you can go run like if you win a good 10K on the roads, you're going to be making, 10 to 20K. But unless you win like a great, unless you win the U.S. championships in the 10K, I don't know, my first pro road race, I won, and the prize money was $7,000 for the winner. Then I went to Millrose a month later, and I was 5th. The guy who was right ahead of me ended up 4th at the World Championships that year, and I think I made like $500, and he made like $700, and it was like, there's a lot more money, and like
Yeah, exactly.
they treat you well on the roads.
they do. They put you up in nice hotels. They fly you in. They,
That's true.
all your meals, and then you get thousands of dollars to, place in the top, 3 to 5. It's like people that don't go to the roads early miss out on that.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So, heard it here from Connor. Go to the roads earlier, please, men.
Do it. Try it out. I'd love to get some more guys to do it and help me in some of my races pace, especially in the marathons.
Yes, let's do that.
Question for you. In the sprints and jumps, I feel like they're more known for like rivalries and beef and trash talking. But one thing I didn't really understand as a sprinter was like you all have a lot of camps and training groups and cliques. And are there rivalries that happen between you all, like while you're competing, or is everybody pretty friendly?
I think everyone's pretty friendly, especially in the marathon, because usually you're just trying to run fast, and you want the people in your race to run fast. Like, if you want everybody there with for the first 24 miles, and then you want to blow them away. But it's like you want to get them there 90% of the way with you. That way you have somebody helping you push the pace, and then at the end of the race you go out and compete. But you want to be on their good side for 24, 25 miles.
So y'all playing possum, and y'all in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. Yeah. We're friends. You go lead for a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I got it. Tactics. I get it. I like it.
Speaking of tactics, tell us about the marathon trials. And did we talk about who was going to win, who wasn't going to win? I mean,
we didn't. There was a point with like 2 miles to go in the marathon trials where Clayton, my training partner, he pulled up, or he had taken the lead, and he's like, "Hey, come up next to me." And I'm like, "No, I just want to guarantee I'm going to make this team." I had some like really big mental blocks because I was 5th at the trials in 2021 in 10K and 8th in the 5K. I don't want to go through another 4 years of not being an Olympian. And so I was like, I am going to play this as safe as possible. I'm not going to overdo it. Like, I think looking back, if I needed to run 30 seconds or a minute faster, I could have made it up in that, those last 4 miles. But I just wanted to guarantee my spot, not risk overdoing it and then not finishing. Just knowing, like, my coach at Icestone, his third team that he made 2 Olympic teams. He should have made a third. He was in 2nd place at the Bell in the 10K, had a gap on 3rd place, and he didn't finish. And this was in 96, and it was just like something can happen when it's hot and humid, especially in the marathon, even more so than the 10K. And so I was like, no, Clayton, like, you go run your race, I'm running my race. And so he like slowed down for me, and then we ran together, and then he's celebrating, and I'm like, I'm still running my race. Like, like we're friends, but man, if you're like, I'm going to go for this win, like you celebrate all you want. You're feeling better than me. You can probably outkick me. I don't care. I'm doing my own thing. And then 30 meters left, I'm like, I'm going to push it. And so I think it more just surprised him. It kind of confused him. He's like, oh yeah, we're in a race, instead of he was just enjoying the moment. And I'm like, I can celebrate after. I can celebrate, in my own little way with like a box of pizza in my hotel room after. But I don't want to be I don't need that celebration of the crowd during the event.
Gotcha.
all right, he was in the zone. Clayton was celebrating. Okay, all right, I get that.
I was minimizing any chance of not making the team.
Yeah, I get that. You were like, nope, I am gonna just I am zoned in until I got it checked off, and we're
Yeah.
gonna go. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
you're-
You don't want to fall. You don't want to have that like.
You're not
Yeah.
qualified for the Olympics until you cross the line, no matter how good you're
That's
feeling.
a hard one. Yes, you're right.
And then even once you qualify, I witnessed the worst carnage I've ever seen in my entire life in that medical tent after the marathon.
yeah.
You guys go through hell.
It's pretty awful.
People were getting IVs. People passed out. I mean, when I walked back, they were like, "Go look." I wish I didn't go see that. I can't unsee it now.
I hope. Did you see anybody's feet? I
Yes.
hope you didn't. Oh, I'm
I did.
sorry. My feet, because it was so humid, and people like dumped water on themselves, and I'd gotten so much water in my feet. 2 hours, blood blisters form. They pop, so your shoes are just red with blood.
Yeah, it's I mean, it might not be like a contact sport, but man, that could hurt more than anything. I would imagine.
That's true. My feet hurt the worst out of anything during that race and after.
And I'm just trying to keep it PG or G.
Yeah, let's just say.
People had like coverings and stuff, and some people didn't. Like I mean, I don't know. Marathons. I didn't realize like you have to wear like protective or baby powder, whatever it is.
Oh,
so you
yeah. For chafing. I mean, you can get it on your armpits, you can get it everywhere, but
that's a different type of
for
mentality.
me, it's just my feet. They always just get beat up.
Who knew the marathon was a blood sport?
That is intense. It's crazy. So, all right.
So we love to ask a lot of our guests who they'd put on their dream 4x4. But for the distance athletes, we ask them, who is your dream DMR team? It can be any generation, any athletes, but they have to be American.
Oh.
Who is your dream?
have to be on
and you
there.
have to be on it. Yes. Who is your
Okay.
dream DMR team?
What are the well, you know the distances, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Okay. Put Rye Benjamin on the 400.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, I know Michael Norman is, a world champion in that, but I think Rye Benjamin would be really fun to have on it. 800.
Any era.
Oh, crap. Like, I'm thinking of him. Donovan Brazier. I was like, definitely Donovan Brazier on the 8.
I like it.
Hopefully when he's healthy, He's had some injuries.
In his prime, so we'll give
And-
everybody in
Oh,
their
yeah,
prime.
everyone in their prime. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let's think of the 12. I mean, I'd have to take. Well, no, put me on the 12. Put Central on like the 16 or something.
Dude.
That way I can be done first. I can
You
watch.
can watch.
I
You
don't-
can watch the finish.
Right.
Hand off and
Be
let.
like, hey guys, you're gonna have to catch up. Like,
Is that a world record team, you think?
no, not with me.
What? You don't think so?
Not with. I mean, if everyone runs their PR, I could probably run. I don't know, probably something like 255, 254, and no, I could run faster than that. But I don't know. They're gonna have to run well.
I got you.
They all run their best. Yeah, it'll probably be a world record team, but
Okay.
I'll be slowing them down.
So speaking of slowing down, I'll ask this then too. It's the Olympic Games. The 4x1. You say hypothetically you have Christian, then Noah, and maybe Fred, and they're like, we don't have anybody else. We need you to run.
no.
We need you to run.
Oh, no.
See the mentality. That's how I think when you talk about marathons or 10 miles, 26 point. It doesn't matter. But we need you to run anchor leg.
They're gonna see me run 12 seconds, mess up the handoff.
No, man, that got you in the head. How much of a lead would you need? That would be my question. To hold him off.
Without getting run over.
Like at least 15 meters.
So if they give you a 15-meter cushion, are you celebrating before
No,
you cross the line?
no,
You running all the way?
I'm going all the way through. Probably diving. Probably gonna tear a hamstring too.
No, we don't even put that into the universe. I'll take everything else though. 4x4, better chance on that one then?
4x4. You're gonna need just as big, or like, even a bigger lead than. I mean, 15 meters. Now I'm thinking about 4x1. I'm like, 15 meters. They're gonna catch me. That might be too little.
No way.
4x4. I think they're gonna. I'm gonna need like 100 meters. Some of those guys are fast.
Man, I think you're selling yourself short, man. I think you got. What would you split?
Nah.
47?
I wish. My best 400 ever was at the end of a workout. Was like 53.
And that was probably after however the X amount of miles,
It
no?
was after like 7 400s. So.
That doesn't count, man. That means you can run 49 for
Oh,
sure.
man, I wish. I wish.
We'll get you some of the sprint spikes,
Yeah, give me some max flies.
There we go. All right.
The max fly twos, though, everyone's running fast. Then yeah.
But then on the flip hand side, let's say in the DMR, now all of a sudden, we're gonna put one of those sprinters on like the 12 or the 8. See how they hold up.
I bet Rye Benjamin could run a good 8.
Ooh.
I don't think he ever will because he's so good at the 4 hurdles, but
Could you beat him in the 8?
probably not. It'd be close though.
Yes, you would.
I'd be hoping he'd be fading.
You get him. You'd have him just off, intimidation.
That's yeah. But
You just talk trash to him. I'll give you put a little mic in your ear. I'll give you some trash talk, and you just
Alright.
you scare him.
All right, I like that.
You're done.
Oh man. Well, Connor, thank you so much for coming, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do, and hopefully you can help us recruit more men to move from the track to the roads.
All right, do my best.
All right.
No pressure.
No
All right.
pressure.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of USATF Journey to Gold podcast. I feel like Eric Kennard right now. That's my man's. All right, holla at y'all later.